There they are, ladies and gentlemen, two of boxing's top pound-for-pound fighters facing off for the very first time ahead of their collision course. The showdown, scheduled July 29th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Premier Boxing Champions presents Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence "Bud" Crawford, live on Showtime Pay-Per-View.
What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Here we are then for the finger licking fight of the century. Now, first things first, you heard the corny guy speaking there. I get he's got to do a job, man, but if you notice, you might not be able to see it. I can't play it in full because of the copyright stuff, but if you watch it on another channel or on whoever's Showtime or whatever, you'll see that during this face-off, there was dialogue actually initiated by Crawford. And instead of hearing that, we heard some dude doing the standard. You know what I mean? I don't know who'd be doing these promotions yet, but these guys need to be mic'd up. I want to know what I guess maybe an interview will ask him later on, what did you say to Spence? But Spence looked, well, we can't read anything into this at all, but still, Crawford was the one leading with it. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because this is the first time we're getting to see kind of, what's the word? We're getting to see, well, yeah, I guess them together. Now, there's been an interview out a few years ago of Crawford and Spence together. And I didn't really notice much of a size difference. Is it a case of Errol Spence isn't in shape and hence looks bigger, or is it a case of he's just bigger? Obviously, we'll find out on fight night, but I want to zoom in here and do this analysis now. Let's have a look then. You can see here, look, Crawford's shoulder starts there. Let's draw a straight line. Top of Crawford's shoulder, yeah, or top of Crawford's kind of trapezius, traps, whatever you call them, area. So you go straight along, yeah. You know what I mean? It's obvious. It's not rocket science here. You can even see at the hairline level, or the head level. Crawford's head's there. Spence has a good inch. Or maybe even two. I'm trying to think. See the hairline. Yeah, Spence has a good inch of height. And he just looks thicker. Look at the shoulders. Spence has got this whole bit of back here. Crawford looks a bit, what's the word? And again, I'm someone who's backing Crawford to win, but Spence is looking big. There's no doubt about that. Let's see when it zooms out. Now, Errol Spence did say look at this angle here. I'm not sure if this is poor quality, but if you look at this angle here, it's clear, look. Errol Spence's neck starts there. Errol Spence's neck, straight line, is like Crawford's cheek. Do you understand? It's clear Spence is a lot bigger. Now, what I was about to say earlier was that Errol Spence announced, whenever this fight was announced, Errol Spence said, a day or two before, I've just started training camp. Now, I can't see Errol Spence's belly or body, but if that's the case, it kind of makes sense. Now, obviously, Errol Spence's height isn't going to change, but he just looks thick here. And I know Terence Crawford doesn't blow up. Errol Spence is renowned for going up to like 180 or something, or in off-season. He'd be drinking, he'd be wilding out, them ones there. So, in terms of the relevance of that, I actually thought at the time, 3 weeks ago when Errol Spence said, just started camp, I thought that's cap. Because the numbers work out. If Errol Spence just started camp 2-3 weeks ago, that means he's only got an 8-week or 9-week camp for this fight. I can't believe a fighter is going to have 8 or 9 weeks. But reading into it, it's looking like Errol Spence. I mean, even if you look at his belly and whatnot, he looks inflated. When you see Errol Spence on fight night, he's just almost 2D. So, I mean, I can't lie to you though. Obviously, I've been a big Terence Crawford fan. Or sorry, not a big fan, but I've been kind of backing him to win this fight. I don't know. I guess they're both in a way in at 147 either way. And we saw in that Josh Taylor fight versus Teofimo Lopez. Bear in mind, Errol Spence has been a career 147 pounder. Yeah. So Terence Crawford's going to be full of beans at 147. Errol Spence was already complaining about the weight years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? And we've never seen Errol Spence really pushed. The Sean Porter fight a little bit, but you know, it's one thing fighting at pace, at your pace. It's another thing fighting at someone else's pace or someone matching your pace. Also, I didn't know this, but I went back and looked. Errol Spence got rocked down to his boots versus Ugas. That's a fact. Errol Spence was almost out on his feet against Ugas. Ugas is not a big puncher. Did Ugas even stop Manny? I don't think. Yeah, Ugas didn't stop Manny. Manny's 4 foot tall and kind of 50 years old. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, you can't... The problem with boxing is you can't read into this stuff. All this... Because you do all the analysis and it comes out... It will turn out Terence Crawford gets knocked out in round 2 or something. That's how my analysis normally goes. But, yeah, I'm surprised. I thought Crawford was going to look as big as Spence. I ain't going to lie to you. On fight night is what matters, I guess. But let's look here. Look at this angle here. Look at this. Like, he looks like just a big dude, doesn't he? Spence does, compared to Crawford. They're both looking down. Spence just looked full. And the only... I mean, again, look at these angles here. It's like about 2 inches in height there. And I've seen Terence Crawford... I was giving Crawford a lot of credit for looking big against Avanesian. But clearly there's levels to being big. When I saw Spence and Kell Brook together, they were both big. And they looked about the same size. Then again, Crawford went in there with Brook and he had a little bit of trouble, but at the start. But he got Brook out of there. People argue, well, Kell Brook was finished by Errol Spence. Maybe, but all I can say is, people, this makes the fight more interesting from my perspective. Even more interesting. This is even more 50-50 now. To be honest with you. But like I said earlier, Teofimo Lopez was smaller. Teofimo Lopez was so much smaller than Josh Taylor, it looks silly. I'd argue the size difference for Josh Taylor was bigger than this one. And look what. Skills pay the bills. Especially when you're weight drained. This isn't a case of... These guys aren't fighting at 160. Yeah? It's like when Kell Brook went up to fight Golovkin. That's when size matters. Golovkin's comfortable at that weight and Kell Brook going up 2 weights. This isn't one of them ones. Spence is going to be the most drained of his career. Why? He's, 33, 34 years old now. He's been at this weight for like 20 years. That can't be healthy after the car crash, after everything else. I mean, when your brain doesn't have water, you can't be firing on all cylinders. You can't be as strong as you otherwise would be. And I think that's the edge here. But I ain't going to lie to you and say that, I knew this. I didn't know this. I didn't know it was that noticeable. I thought they were going to come in looking the same size. But like I said, the weighing is what will matter here. Because it could be the case Errol Spence has been bulking out of camp. And yeah, he's hype. And that's going to be interesting for Crawford. Crawford hasn't fought... Well, to be honest, neither of these two have fought someone the calibre of their opponent. But, name me some names where... Crawford's usually the tall boxer guy. The tall, strong boxer guy. In this fight, he's going to lose that advantage. He's going to lose that range that he's been having so much success with. Now, to be fair to Crawford, that Indongo guy... Indongo was lanky. But Indongo came to lose, to be honest with you. But so this fight is dynamic in so many ways, and that's why for me it's the fight of the century. It's going to come down to not just skill, but I believe the winner of this fight will have to show true greatness. Bottom line, this is the greatest fight of the last 100 years, in my opinion. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell 100%, no doubt.